The story retold by Barabbas. After the crowds and Pilate set me free, I knew the smart thing to do: flee to the hills before they changed their minds. And so I pushed my way through the throngs of my countrymen and their smiles and congratulatory pats on my shoulders because I wanted out. Though more than a little hungry, I had no money for provisions. Hide first, find food later, I thought. Yet when I reached the city walls, I looked on Calvary in the near distance and stopped, because I was the one, not Jesus, who should have been condemned to die on that hill today. I stood there frozen for several minutes. What could I do? What should I do? I realized that at the very least, I owed my liberator a moment of acknowledgement before I headed out of the city. I turned and found the road towards Golgotha. As I walked, I could see in the distance that 2 crosses were already standing. The third was raised as I approached. On arriving, I saw that the 2 crucified on either side of Jesus were fellow zealots and companions of mine. Though horrified by their cries of agony, I nevertheless drew closer. Well, one of the soldiers climbed up with the placards to hang above each of them. The first 2, above my mates, said, "Rebel against Rome." The message was clear for all onlookers. Rome possessed no tolerance for resistance against its rule. Retribution would be predictable, swift, and cruel. Now, Jesus hadn't broken the normal laws that rebels break, nor had he really posed a threat to the Romans' grip on the people. He was hardly a revolutionary, but still, the Sanhedrin are schemers and manipulators and seem to have this knack for getting the Romans to see things their way. I figured that they had pulled the wool over Pilate's eyes just to give Jesus the same verdict as the other 2 criminals. A flash of surprise surged in me when I read the sign they nailed to the top of his crossbeam. It said, "This is Jesus, the King of the Jews." Oh, I clenched my teeth. You see, Pilate was poking fun at our weakness and joking that his broken, naked, dying man before us was supposedly our king. I looked around to see if other people were as incensed as I was. So some in the crowd were likely those who just kind of cried out, "Crucify him," before Pilate. Their smug grins revealed their thoughts clear enough. A claim to be a king or Messiah was sheer blasphemy, and anyone foolish enough to make it deserved what he got. But then I saw how the sign affected the religious elders. You see, their faces had twisted into angry grimaces, several that were starting to shout at the guards, and it became really clear they were the intended butt of Pilate's joke. I heard one of the elders demand the sign be changed to Jesus, who claimed to be the King of the Jews. The guard gave them Pilate's answer: "What's written is written." I nearly laughed out loud, delighting in the moment of justice when our corrupt leaders did not get their way. But then I noticed another thing. Jesus' placard was written not just in Aramaic like the other 2, but also in Latin and Greek, because these were the 2 most common languages of the Roman Empire. Did Pilate purpose to proclaim Jesus as King of the Jews to the entire empire, or was this just an accident? I changed my plans immediately to leave the city and to run for my life. I had discovered a reason to stay put in Jerusalem and to learn more about this mysterious man who took my place so that I could be set free. Pilate's unlikely placard had pointed the way for me and for many to wonder, could it be that this man who was crucified between 2 criminals was no accident, that indeed he was somehow a king, the source of life and freedom that has so long evaded me? A prayer for the heart. Lamb of God, you were spotless and had done nothing worthy of death, yet you were stricken for the transgression of my people and numbered with the transgressors. Your sacrifice made a way for me, like Barabbas, to escape my own death on Calvary's mountain. Thank you, King of the Jews and the whole world, for the sign above your cross, for the powerful proclamation from an unlikely source that you are the King of all, the King who was and is to come. And may this sign become more and more true in my life, that I would honor you in every decision as my King too. I believe I can. Help my unbelief.